Welcome to my channel. I'm your Sam and I'm here with another video, of course. And we're going to go over the book haul that I promised a couple of videos back, I think. As you can see, the bag is missing. They're all stacked right here. And let's get started, shall we? These are not going to be in any specific order. This first one, I have two this time by this author, and I wanted to read this so bad. Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. And it is a Cosmere novel. But look at that cover. Isn't that gorgeous? From the most successful Kickstarter campaign of all time. There is a world, one of endless night, surrounded by an even deeper darkness. Filled with nightmares come to life, twisted shapes that slink to windows and ease open doors, sliding across floors to look down on helpless faces. There is another world, a bright world so bright it burns, filled with stacked stones that call forth miracles raised by calloused hands that tremble in their work, drained with each stone lifted, settled, lifted again. Between these worlds, two souls connect, collide, entwine. A bridge, a path, a road to both worlds changing forever. The cover is honestly what got me. Second was Brandon Sanderson, and a third was just reading the back. I didn't even get to the inside, but look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And here is the back. Love it. I'm going to do a quick flip through to see if there's any art in the middle, and there's one after the first page. So this is the color. Here we go. And then look at that. Isn't it pretty? Little things with each chapter, like a chapter header artwork piece. But I'm not going to show you that. Next, this is what caught my eye. It was laying on a table, and I saw this part first. But Sons of Darkness by Gaurav Mohanty. I probably butchered that word, but I mean, other than this, can you see what else, pressured me to buy this? It couldn't be this thing up here, right? The wolf? No, not at all. On the inside, again, I looked at this before I read the sleeve, but some ballads are inked in blood. Try to hold this and read this at the same time. There we go. Blood drawn by violent confrontations with the Magadhan Empire, the Mathuran Republic simmers on the brink of oblivion. Senator Krishna and his third wife, these words. It's a fantasy novel, y'all. So names, yeah. Satyabhama have put their plans in motion, both within and beyond the Republic's blood-soaked borders, to protect it from total annihilation. But they are soon to discover that neither gold nor alliances last forever, and that they are not the only players on the board. Maddie, pirate princess of Kalinga, has decided to mend her ways and become a good wife. But old habits die hard, especially when one habitually uses murder to settle old scores. Brooding and beautiful Karna hopes to bury his brutal past, but finds that destiny is a miser when it comes to granting second chances. Hero turned torturer, Shakuni, limps through a path of daggers. Meanwhile, his foes and woes multiply, leaving little time for vengeance. Their lives are about to become yet more difficult as a cast of sinister queens, naive kings, Pious assassins and ravenous priests are converging where the son of darkness is prophesied to rise, even as forgotten gods prepare to play their hand. Yeah. So needless to say, upon reading the sleeve, it was a definite pickup for me. Just saying. Next is this one right here. I kind of waited until it went on sale before picking it up, but Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I probably butchered that name again. Me and names, y'all. You know I cannot pronounce anything correctly. But again, kind of what caught me was every chapter kind of had branches on it, and I thought that was pretty cool. But here's the back. Two sisters. One brutal murder, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself, and an intoxicating romance. Emilia and her twin sister Vittoria are strig, witches who live secretly among humans, avoiding notice and persecution. One night, Vittoria misses dinner service at the family's renowned restaurant in Sicily. Emilia soon finds the body of her beloved twin, desecrated beyond belief. Devastated, Emilia sets out to find her sister's killer and to seek vengeance at any cost, even if it means using dark magic that's been long forbidden. Then, Emilia meets Wrath, one of the wicked, who are princes of hell she has been warned against in tales since she was a child. Wrath claims to be on Emilia's side, tasked by his master with solving a series of women's murders on the island. But when it comes to the wicked, nothing is as it seems. And next, I also waited on this one to go on sale because I've heard so much about it. So it is Rebecca F. Kuang. She's also the one that wrote the Poppy War trilogy. I have that one. I've been meaning to get to reading it, and I have yet. But this is Babel. It's an arcane history book. 1828. Robin Swift, orphaned by cholera in Canton, is brought to London by the mysterious Professor Lovell. There, Robin trains for years in Latin, ancient Greek, and Chinese, all in preparation for the day he'll enroll in Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babel. Babel is the world's center for translation and, more importantly, magic. Silverworking, the art of manifesting the meaning lost in translation using enchanted silver bars, has made the British unparalleled in power, as the arcane craft serves the Empire's quest for colonization. For Robin, Oxford is a utopia dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. But knowledge obeys power, and as a Chinese boy raised in Britain, he realizes serving Babel means betraying his motherland. As his studies progress, Robin finds himself caught between Babel and the shadowy Hermes Society, an organization dedicated to stopping imperial expansion. When Britain pursues an unjust war with China over silver and opium, Robin must decide: can powerful institutions be changed from within, or does revolution always require violence? This next one, I will have to say that if a cover doesn't catch your eye, then you better make the title catch your eye. Because this title, yeah, I laughed. I laughed in the bookshop. Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell. Or Wiswell. Whistleton? Look at that. Someone You Can Build a Nest In. Yeah, I'm just going to read the sleeve. And again, names, fantasy novel. Yeah. Shi Shin has made a mistake fatal to all monsters. She's fallen in love. Shi Shin, I'm just calling her She. Or Shin. We're just going to call her Shin. Shin is a shapeshifter who happily resides as an amorphous lump in the swamp of a ruined manor. When her rest is interrupted by impolite monster hunters, she constructs a body fit for devouring by reabsorbing the remains of past meals. A metal chain for a backbone, borrowed bones for limbs, and a bear trap for an extra mouth. After one incident goes badly, Shin's nursed back to health by Homily, a warm-hearted human who has mistaken Shin for a fellow human. Homily would make an excellent co-parent, an ideal place to lay Shin's eggs so their young could devour Homily from the inside out. But as they grow close, she realizes humans don't think about love that way. Shin is about to confess her identity when Homily reveals that she's hunting a ship-shifting monster who supposedly cursed her family. Eating her girlfriend isn't an option. Shin didn't curse anyone, but to give herself and Homily a chance at happiness, she must discover why Homily's twisted family thinks she did. And the bigger challenge remains, surviving her toxic in-laws long enough to learn to build a life with, rather than in, the love of her life. Needless to say, this is probably going to go more towards the top of the TBR than, the bottom. But, my TBR is extensive in and of itself. Next is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. So yeah, this is another one that I've kind of held off on buying, but I finally did. A maiden, chosen from birth to usher in a new era. Poppy's life has never been her own. The life of the maiden is solitary, never to be touched, never to be looked upon, never to be spoken to, never to experience pleasure. Waiting for the day of her ascension, she would rather be with the guards fighting back the evil that took her family than preparing to be found worthy by the gods. But the choice has never been hers. A duty. The entire kingdom's future rests on Poppy's shoulders, something she's not even quite sure she wants for herself, because a maiden has a heart and a soul and longing. And when Hawk, a golden-eyed guard honor-bound to ensure her ascension, enters her life, destiny and duty become entangled with desire and need. He incites her anger, makes her question everything she believes in, and tempts her with the forbidden. A kingdom, forsaken by the gods and feared by mortals, a fallen kingdom is rising once more, determined to take back what they believe is theirs through violence and vengeance. And as the shadow of those cursed draws closer, the line between what is forbidden and what is right becomes blurred. Poppy is not only on the verge of losing her heart and being found unworthy by the gods, but also her life when every blood-soaked thread that holds her world together begins to unravel. All right, next is a book that my husband actually bought me when he was out and about one day, and it's another Brandon Sanderson, Tress of the Emerald Seed. The only life Tress has known on her island home in an emerald green ocean has been a simple one, with the simple pleasures of collecting cups brought by sailors from faraway lands and listening to stories told by her friend Charlie. But when his father takes him on a voyage to find a bride and disaster strikes, Tress must stow away on a ship and seek the sorceress of the deadly midnight sea. Amid the spore oceans where pirates abound, can Tress leave her simple life behind and make her own place sailing a sea where a single drop of water can mean instant death? And this one I bought online because I've been wanting it for a long time. How to Become a Crazy Cat Lady to Survive the Zombie Apocalypse. Hero's Famous Fungus Killed Us All by our very own Mama Magie. I'll leave the links to her channel and everything down below. Dr. Babette Bland must choose the cats she's allergic to but which the zombies fear, or the zombies, which she is also allergic to and will eat her. Escaping Baltimore, she goes on a cross-country road trip with 100-year-old Egyptologist Lady Theodora Thorpe, who survived the first encounter with the plague before World War II, and her cats in a recreational vehicle trying to reach the West Coast and the last surviving naval fleet with the information about the truth of Pandemic 5. But in the zombie apocalypse, they discover there are zealots, criminals, and politicians who will do anything to stop them, making the zombies the lesser threat. Looking for them, Theodora's twin great-grandsons, Leo and Lionel Thorpe, serve in the U.S. Navy Pacific Fleet under the descendants of one of the other survivors of the first modern outbreak. Admiral Lansing and his son, Captain Lansing, have kept their sailors safe, but now they are tasked with rescuing the uninfected survivors from cities filled with non-decaying IUWs, infected undead wanderers. The dead are getting hungry, and the Navy's only hope is that Theodora's memories and Babette's research can find a way to save them all before the surviving politicians decide to kill everyone in another way to hide the truth of what they did. Love it. And then, last but not least, is a manga I bought. Stray Cat and Wolf. When life gives you lemons, and then you wake up in a hot guy's house. Tamaki Mashina was getting out, escaping from the tiny village where everyone loathed her for things beyond her control, especially since her dad, her last tie to the town, had recently passed away. That's why she applied to a high school in Tokyo in the first place. But then she got sent packing from her boarding house, woke up in Mr. Playboy punk rocker's apartment, and just kind of stayed there because she didn't have anywhere else to go. Too bad Rue keeps trying to kick her out because he's pretty sure she doesn't understand what it really means to live with a guy. That's all I have for the book haul. I did buy another Apothecary Diaries, but I'm sure that y'all are kind of sick of listening to me ramble about Apothecary Diaries. Let me know if you've read any of the books on this particular list and what you thought about them. Rate them from 1 to 5, 1 being awful and 5 being great. Don't give me any spoilers, please. Muchly appreciated. And I will see you in my next video. Be kind to one another out there. Be kind to yourself. Keep writing. Keep being creative. And I will see you next time.